U.S. is weighing new military options against Iran, even as President Donald Trump says he hopes force won't be necessary. From warships in the region to behind-the-scene diplomacy, our next report decodes what are the military options U.S. is weighing.
A theater of war is taking shape in the waters of the Gulf. The US appears to be advancing towards a possible military confrontation with Iran. A powerful US naval force, led by the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier the USS Abraham Lincoln, flanked by 3 destroyers, is already in the region. The US has also rushed in fighter jets and heavy bombers. The US has docked its Navy destroyer in the port of Eilat, Israel's only commercial gateway to the Red Sea. This is in addition to the 40,000 American troops which are already stationed in bases across West Asia. So, in a nutshell, Trump has the firepower to launch a full-scale assault of Iran. The US president is considering a range of military scenarios proposed by the Pentagon against Tehran. Reports indicate that Trump has been presented with an expanded list of options for potential strikes on Iran. These include US troop raids, as well as intensified attacks on Iranian nuclear and missile facilities. Among the riskiest scenarios under consideration is the covert deployment of US special forces to destroy or disable Iranian nuclear sites that were not hit during the US strikes in June 2025. Another option involves a series of strikes on facilities directly linked to Iran's leadership. These are aimed at creating internal chaos and paving the way for a change of power.
Same thing with Iran right now, ensuring that they have all the options to make a deal. They should not pursue nuclear capabilities. We will be prepared to deliver whatever this president expects of the War Department.
Israel, for its part, is seeking to persuade Washington to target sites connected to Iran's missile program. For now, Trump is keeping the military options close to his chest. He remains open to diplomatic solutions and negotiations for a possible nuclear deal with Tehran.
Have you had any conversations with Iran in the last few days, and are you planning on any?
I have had, and I am planning on it, yeah. We have a lot of very big, very powerful ships sailing to Iran right now. And it would be great if we didn't have to use them.
Even as military options grow, diplomacy is moving in parallel. Turkey is leading a diplomatic push, engaging both Washington and Tehran in an effort to cool tensions. Ankara says Tehran's nuclear program talks are vital to stave off any conflict. It urges Washington to resist Israeli pressure and warns any military strike can cause great harm to the fragile region.
We see that Israel is trying to persuade the US to launch a military attack on Iran. Israel's efforts carry the potential to cause great harm to the fragile stability in our region. We hope the US administration will act with common sense and not allow this to happen. Israel must end its destabilizing policies in the region.
Iran, which has simultaneously been increasing its military buildup, has laid a fresh condition. It asserts that the success of diplomacy with the US hinges on ending threatening conduct in the Gulf. Trump seems to be speaking in two voices. He speaks of violent action, has moved the might of the American military, and is still urging Iran to come to the table for talks. But Tehran remembers that last June, when Israel attacked, the US was scheduled to hold talks with Iran only 2 days later. The big question: what is Trump planning this time around? Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Joining us live on the broadcast is Hafid Boutaleb, a geopolitics and international relations analyst, AOB Group. Thank you so much for joining us on WION, and welcome back. So President Trump says that diplomacy is still on the table. On the other hand, we see that U.S. warships are heading and stationed in the Persian Gulf region, very, very close to Iran. So what are your thoughts about America's next move?
Well, there is also a good day, Susan, first, and there is also great news today. Big news is that the EU has listed the Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, which shows that also adding to the declaration of Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, British Prime Minister, that he would align with Trump in case that America would scale up its plans on Iran. So this shows that it's not anymore a matter of whether Trump will go or no, but whether the Western now will coalesce again after this episode that's going to last of around Greenland. Westerners will find a common ground on Iran, and whether they will go or no, this is a matter of time. It is sure now that the United States are planning to weaken the regime. How far, no one knows, but this can't go without at least strategic strikes. So for me, it is, so now I would say 100% that there would be some strategic tactical strikes over Iran. It is very costly to move such big armada. As Donald Trump said, there are even more ships heading to Iran. It means that it's a matter of time. Now, the magnitude of the attack, this is the real the interrogation. Will it last in time? Will it be limited in time? This depends on the behavior of the mullahs in Iran, in Tehran specifically, how they're going to deal with these demonstrations. And I want to say that Siavosh Ghazi, who is an Iranian journalist based in Tehran, has already confirmed 20,000 casualties due to this unprecedented unrest. And I can easily say today that for the Islamic Republic of Iran, there is a before January 26 and after January 26. Things will never go back as it used to be. This was unprecedented repression, even in the world, not only in Iran. Hello?
Absolutely, 100%. So Iran says that diplomacy will be successful when U.S. stops threatening it. But what options does Iran really have at this point?
Can you hear me? Because I am sorry for that. Maybe there are some disturbance on the network. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I lost you for a slight second, Mr. Boutaleb, but can you hear me now? And did you hear my question? I was talking about the options Iran has at this point.
The question is whether the mullahs are still united. This is a real matter. It matters to know how far these mullahs and the Revolutionary Guard and the regime is still united around its leader, who is Ali Khamenei. It used to be one time where there was seemingly a real, I would say, a real Islamic Republic with the reformist, the conservative, and there was alternance on power. Since 2009, the regime has slowly evolved around autocracy, exclusively centered around the figure of the supreme guide, Ali Khamenei. So now it is not anymore a republic, Islamic Republic, it is a dictatorship around Ali Khamenei. Now the real interrogation is whether this Islamic Republic has still resource to renew itself, topple Ali Khamenei, bring new leaders, and conduct change and reforms that the street wants and street urges, or it is already gone. All what was on behalf of the reformists and all the moderates are now gone, and it's a new power since 2009 that has never been as aggressive as today around Ali Khamenei. And if it is the case, the only solution would be a military putsch or a civil war, which is something that no one wants, especially for a country like Iran. A civil war would be bloody. So the bloodless option would be a palace revolution, I would say, a palace coup in which the reformists around persons like Mir Hossein Mousavi, Ali, Mohammed Khatami, although quite old but younger than the Supreme Guide, would take in charge, launch reforms, and open to the United States for talks and abandon the ballistic program. And I think that this is something that and very possible. Abandoning ballistic program and abandoning nuclear ambitions would be a key signal from new reformist mullahs, I would say. This is the bloodless option, a key signal to send to the Western countries that henceforth, and the new leadership in Tehran will conduct reforms, work on the daily life of Iranians rather than fulfilling a regional agenda, either against Iran or against Israel or against Gulf countries or whatever.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. And what the Iranian people want, I mean, the atmosphere is so much different than in 2009. A lot of Iranians just want the whole regime to just say goodbye, and they want to start new. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much for that thorough analysis, Mr. Boutaleb. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon as we follow this story very, very carefully.
Thank you, Susan.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.